go to school, do your mathematics, you do your further maths, you come out in the world and you're like, this is not helping me. I'm of the opinion that skills should be adapted into the curriculum of education in Nigeria. We're not just coming to do theoretical parts. You do physics, do chemistry, do maths, do English, do economics, do this, do that, and you come out. There are no jobs waiting for you.
A few years ago, my dad would tell me that when he was in the university, upon graduation, jobs were waiting for them at the doorsteps of their universities, right? And the idea then was go to school, come out good grades, and then get a good job, retire after 35 years, and go into the good life. But things have changed in recent times. We're seeing first-class graduates running POS. So it has gone beyond where we just work with, go to school and come out with good grades, to where we have to put in conscious effort to improve the economy of our nation.
It's good to go through the system, but then there's something called cheating the system. The system is the fact where you were told to go to primary school, go to secondary school, go to university, do an NYSC, apply for a job. If nothing comes, settle for less. But then the thing is, there's something called cheating the system. You have every opportunity to start working. You have every opportunity to start gaining experience in that field you are studying in the university while you're in the university. The thing is, nobody wants to employ you when you come out of school. And they're always asking for 5 years experience. If you're smart enough to have been hanging around people who are looking for jobs, your uncles and aunties who were looking for jobs when you're in primary school or secondary school, you hear them say something like they went for this social interview, but then they were told to come back because they don't have the experience. If you're smart enough, you would know that, okay, if their uncle had finished and they're asking him for experience, you should start working now so you can gain some experience.
Hello and welcome to another interesting session with Vibe with Fitmore here. And today is going to be a very serious topic. Yes, I'm not smiling as you can see. There's been a whole lot of things that have happened to Nigeria's economy from last year to this year. Like in a 1 year overview, we've seen unemployment, underemployment, we've seen skills mismatch, we've seen serious cases with setting up entrepreneurship and a whole lot of things. And this has been due to the economic meltdown. And now we're talking about how a youth in Nigeria can survive this economic landscape. And it's just like a guide to a youth being better, doing better, earning more, and living a more comfortable life as a youth now at this present time in Nigeria. And I have with me very interesting guests on the show who is going to help us throw more light on the economic situation in Nigeria, how it has affected them as youth, because as you can see, we are all in the same cycle. All of us are just trying to just be better in an economy that has really not been helping at all. So with me on set today to talk about this very interesting topic are two wonderful guests, and I would like them to introduce themselves and say one or two things about the state of the nation's economy.
All right, well done, people. My name is Winner Idoma.
Oh, I am Benson Iji, and I'm elated to be here today.
Awesome. So, Mr. Winner Idoma, can you just from your own perspective, what do you think about the economic state in Nigeria? Like right now, what's your say about what do you think has happened to the economy? Exactly.
Okay. So I would say that the economy is crashing, and it's been crashing for a while, and there's not really much to be said about it except the fact that we all just have to hope, and then we all just have to sit up and then come up with creative ideas on how to start making monies for ourselves and not being dependent on the government. And basically.
Okay.
Yes.
So, Mr. Benson, just could you give us your view on the economy?
It's very obvious that the economy is doing rather better than it does, right? And in as much as we can keep talking about how the economy is having a downward slide, it's high time we stopped all the cha-cha-cha and show workings, and the workings basically will be to look away from the jobs that are no longer available and create stuff for ourselves as youth.
Okay, we'll get to that point, Mr. Benson. But first of all, we need to understand what's going on. Understanding the economic climate. Like someone talked about devaluation of the naira,
Yeah, okay.
inflation rates. There's money, but the goods are not affordable. The prices are so high. Before, you could take ₦1 million and go to the market and come back with a truckload of things. Just exaggerating, but then it was way better than what we have today. Right now, you can take ₦1 million and you can just get one item in the market. So we need to understand the climate. There are people who still don't grasp the enormity of what we are in as a country. Youth, we just feel like go to school, come out, get a good job. It's just like the same mantra we've had all the while. So we need to understand what has the economic meltdown, what has it done to us as people, with the inflation rate and the way it's you think you have you go to the market today, just now, you ask for the price of something. And you just, okay, let me just get something here and come back. And by the time you're back, the prices have tripled. We know we have work to do. But first of all, let us understand what's going on.
Okay. First of all, I'll state the obvious. The naira is crashing, devaluing, and to a great extent, a few months ago, there was a whole strike, and the whole NLC wanted the minimum wage to go up to a few hundreds of thousands, right? But then what that would do to us would be to pump too much money into the economy, which is not what we want, because what will now be the case will be having so much money but little buying power. So it's not about how many nairas you have, it's about what you can do with the little naira you have,
Yeah.
right? So before we move to the part where we create solutions for ourselves as youth, we have to, of course, I don't know if any the government is listening to this, but there's a whole lot of work we need to do to pump more value into the naira and make it much better. A few years ago, my dad would tell me that when he was in the university, upon graduation, jobs were waiting for them at the doorsteps of the universities, right? And the idea then was go to school, come out with good grades, and then get a good job, retire after 35 years, and go into the good life. But things have changed in recent times, and we're done with schools. We're seeing first-class graduates running POS. We're seeing, so it's getting crazy. So it has gone beyond where we just work with, go to school and come out with good grades, to where we have to put in conscious effort to improve the economy of our nation.
Okay. Mr. Winner, do you have something to add to that?
Yeah, basically, for me, economic naira down, jobs down,
Nowhere.
government disappointing, Nigerians themselves disappointing, because everybody's looking for opportunity to rip the other person off. So it's like a full circle of everybody trying to throw everybody down. Just a few persons, few genuine people trying to stand up in the country. So for the question of the fact that some people don't know what's happening, this is basically what's happening. Government is down, the naira's down, Nigerians down, no jobs anywhere. It's a full circle.
Wow. So there are a whole lot of economic challenges that we are facing as a people. Okay. So we have heard that it's like we are in a situation where we can't be helped. Like it's looking like this is apocalypse for Nigerians, and I think there are ways by which we can help ourselves as youths. Nigerians, we just think. In fact, from education in Nigeria, go to school, you do your mathematics, you do your further maths, you come out in the world and you are like, this is not helping me. Skills, I'm of the opinion that skills should be adapted into the curriculum of education in Nigeria. We are not just coming to do theoretical parts. You do physics, do chemistry, do maths, do English, do economics, do this, do that, and you come out. There are no jobs waiting for you. Believe me, in other countries, like the developed world, there are skills that are impacted into these people. You go to school and your IQ is improved. You don't come out and you're a deadbeat. You just, everybody is just, the market is saturated. jobs, there are no job opportunities. Everybody is just going to school. The school graduates over 2 million people every year, and there are no jobs. For those 2 million, believe me, there are no jobs for them. No single job. Now, but there are ways that we can improve ourselves, improve our skills, gain more skills and all of that. Then, but how do we leverage the social media? Like, LinkedIn page, do a good CV, some of us don't even know how to write a CV. It's as serious as that. I was listening to someone talk sometime, and they're like, whether you are married or single, there's some things he mentioned that were like, people are not actually interested in all of that. They are interested in what you can bring to the table.
Yeah.
So we need to know, how do we improve our LinkedIn? Not everybody. Okay, there's something that's called LinkedIn. All right. Yeah. So just in case you're not aware, there's something that's called LinkedIn. But now we need to know, how do we present ourselves on LinkedIn? To have an edge.
Okay. First of all, before we get there, to a great extent, I feel there's still a few jobs, right? But the problem dwells or borders around employability. We go through schools, and then what they tell us in school is that you graduate in certificate in character and learning. Beautiful. You have good character. You have learned a whole lot of paperwork that my forefathers started using. But then you are not employable, right? I've been in the labor market where I needed to employ a whole lot of folks, and then they are not employable. Not because they are not hardworking, but because you know that they've not built capacity. And the world that we are today, right now, is rapidly evolving. The whole innovation space, the whole tech space. So we are not setting our place or ourselves in place for the future of work. The future of work has to be around the whole tech ecosystem right now, because what we are doing as a people is that we are still in the past years where we are doing 9-to-5s and all of that. But the world is innovating. We have gone past the whole era of agriculture and all of that worldwide, and we are trailing from behind in the tech space, because we're trying to learn the tech that people have built 20-30 years ago. So we're already on the losing side. All right. So it's a matter of employability. Now, for platforms like LinkedIn, yes, you can get jobs on LinkedIn. You can see opportunities, but I know a whole lot of people who say they've gone through LinkedIn and they're unable to get a job. Okay. Why is that? They want to see what's on your CV. You talked about having a very good CV. And having a good CV entails or goes beyond just going through school and having what every other person has.
Yes.
What makes you employable is what keeps you above the next person. What makes you stand out? Because I don't want to hire every other person. I want to hire who stands out. Okay. So what makes you stand out? Your CV may be good, but you don't have certifications. You've not done some courses. You've not learned anything new since the last 15 years you graduated from the university. All you have is your degree in accounting. You've not learned anything new that you can bring to the table. I mean, I don't want whoever just went to school and studied what the lecturer taught them. I want to see what you have learned. If you have learned stuff right after you left school, then I am very much sure that you can learn stuff on the job and bring something new to me. That's what I want. I want you to innovate with my company. I don't want you to come and bring business as usual. I don't want you to come and tell me the same thing that my forefathers were saying 2,000 years ago. For crying out loud, I'm not a civil service organization, right? So I want to innovate. I don't want files. I don't want paperwork. I want brain power, right? So that's what we need to do as youth, right? Build brain power, empower ourselves so that we can stay relevant in the ecosystem, because the future of work is not in the future of work is now.
Okay. Do you have something to add, Mr. Winner?
Yeah, so the thing is, one of the things we Nigerians will always get to do is we always put our minds to, it's good to go through the system, right? But then there's something called cheating the system. The system is the fact where you were told to go to primary school, go to secondary school, go to university, do an NYSC, apply for jobs, find the jobs. If nothing comes, settle for less. But then the thing is, there's something called cheating the system.
Okay.
It's something I would always say that you have every opportunity to start working. You have every opportunity to start gaining experience in that field you are studying in the university while you're in the university. And then the thing is, nobody wants to employ you when you come out of school. You come out of school, you go for employment, they tell you don't have experience. They're always asking for 5 years experience.
Yes.
If you are smart enough to have been hanging around people who are looking for jobs, your uncles and aunties who were looking for jobs when you're in primary school or secondary school, you hear them say something like they went for this social interview, but then they were told to come back because they don't have the experience. If you're smart enough, you would know that, okay, if their uncle had finished and they're asking him for experience, you should start working now so you can gain some experience. People they don't want to employ the person that is good. They want to employ the person that has experience. And then another thing is, most people want to employ people that have good characters. People they're not really they're bent on what you know, how good you know what you know, and your character.
Okay.
Some employers will rather employ you that have good character and train you on the job
Pretty much.
Okay.
than employing somebody that don't have a good character.
Okay.
So how about you are in the university trying to do that course of yours? How about in your second year, start practicing somewhere? Put in for an internship somewhere to start gaining experiences and learning good characters on how to keep the job. So by the time you are coming out of the university now, you have about 4 years experience, 3 years experience that you can go and meet somebody and confidently say, hire me. And they cannot turn you down. But we always want to wait and go and do 1 year anywhere else somewhere, and we're happy. You think we have something to carry for ourselves and want to go and apply somewhere. They'll turn you down and tell you to come back in 5 years because you ain't got no experience.
Wow, this is quite amazing. Because in our defense, sorry, I have to, in our defense,
Are you defending
we
us?
get us youths. No, I actually understand where you're coming from. I'm just saying, when you're in school, like for me, while I was in school, I was basically a school smart person, like, so I was always hitting the A's and the B's now because I think like that is what is going to give me an edge. When you come out, they say first class, second, blah, 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 and all of that, So most times as a medical personnel, while in school, you don't even have time. You don't even have time to do a side hustle. You don't like, you are so focused on hitting the A's and because you are just like, maybe that is what you need. But in our time now, we need to understand the fact that it is not just about your age.
It's not the age.
It's not just about going to school and being book smart and all of that. Most people right now, there is not even what they studied in school that they are working on currently. That is the situation of Nigeria. You can study what do I call it? Linguistics, blah blah blah. No, don't go medicine. Don't go medicine.
So why
you can
linguistics?
study? No, don't medicine. No.
I mean, I studied English.
Why linguistics?
Good. No, sorry. I was just trying to call. Like, you see, not like I didn't want to talk about
Shots
professional
fired.
course.
Shots fired.
Yeah,
You know?
we get.
You know me, and all that. And then you are working in the bank, or you are, it's just mismatched. You have skills in a particular field, and then you're doing this here, and you have to learn on the job. And most times you're not giving your best because that is not what you are trained for.
Yeah.
Do you understand? I understand the place of being versatile, of putting your hand in so much, puddings. You understand? Because you want to have a lot of skills or a lot of so that when you are in the job market, you're not just limited to one place.
Thing, yeah.
You understand? But right now, I am of the opinion that in school, for crying out loud, our curriculum should be improved.
Okay.
One, and then everything shouldn't just be about the theoretical part of things.
Yeah.
People should be allowed to, in schools, in outside the country, their type. In fact, they improve on their sports.
Yeah.
The people that are picked from sports, you go, you play soccer, you play American football, you play rugby, you play basketball, you play whatever because you are trained from that school environment.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Do you know that there are some people who, after they leave school, they don't even want to do anything about education again?
Yeah.
Because you know what you went through to get that degree. Now you can't even use that degree outside. Because people are looking for more, whether you like it or not. You can come out with first class. They will not even employ you in your school as a lecturer.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
Yes.
So,
I
They
have
know we
experience.
don't do it anymore. Now, a lot of people come out and they say they want to be entrepreneurs. Now, what do you have to say about youth as in entrepreneurship? Like, what is it advisable? If it is, what way? Because there are many people who started businesses who couldn't even do it for up to a year, couldn't do it for up to 3. Within 6 months, it folds. So, is there any way, anything we can do differently, or any other kind of idea you can help us with that would help youth in entrepreneurship in Nigeria?
First of all, disclaimer to everybody who's seen this: not everybody should be an entrepreneur, right? I'm not hating on anybody who wants to be,
Okay.
but not everybody has to be an entrepreneur.
Okay.
Why do I say this? Not everybody is wired for entrepreneurship. There are some people that their goal in life is to build a career. Their strength is having 9 to 5, grow, and get to the point of managing director,
Okay.
and then you retire after some years, and then you have a good life, going to the Seychelles and the Bahamas on vacations and stuff. But not everybody has to be an entrepreneur, because entrepreneurs are wired differently. Entrepreneurs are people who live in what Nigerians call delulu. No, delusional. They are very delusional. Why do I say delusional? Until the things come to be, everybody sees you as crazy.
Yes.
So I'm trying to build a tech startup, for instance. Let's say someone is trying to build an agri-tech startup, and everybody is looking at him like, this guy is crazy. What kind of nonsense is this? What kind of nonsense is this? And he's delusional, right? Until it works out, and then everybody's like, hey, yeah, we knew it would work out and stuff. But they are wired differently. You have to be very delusional, and you have to know how to stand and know that until this thing works, I'm not going anywhere else. That's what an entrepreneur is. Someone who is able to stand and fight for a certain course until he sees it comes to manifestation or come to fruition.
Yeah.
Right? So my advice to entrepreneurs or to people who are aspiring entrepreneurs is that before you even decide to go into entrepreneurship, know what you are going into. Because many people just say, you know what, I learned how to do makeup, I learned how to bake, and then they go and open a shop. It's one thing to have a skill. It's a totally different thing to run a business in that area. Because I may have the skill, but I don't know how to run a successful business in that area. So I can just decide to say, you know what, I have hairdressing skill, and my friend has a good hairdressing salon. I work with her or work with him. Not everybody has to be an entrepreneur. You have the skill doesn't mean because you bake doesn't mean you have to have a baking shop or you have to open a restaurant because you learned culinary skills, right? It's a matter of being wired for it. Now, if you are now the kind of people like us who people thought we were not wired for it and wanted to delve into that realm, then you have to first of all build yourself and create capacity before you can step into that field, because the capacity that keeps you going. How much strength you have in your bosom is what will keep you going in a time where it's not working out yet. You know, some years ago there was a movie that did a whole lot of crazy things on the internet, Acrimony, where the guy had some battery he was about to sell, and then his wife didn't believe in him, this and that, everything was going crazy, and then his wife's siblings made her leave him, and then sometime later he hit the jackpot, and then she tried coming back and blah 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 and whatnot. But he had that worked because he had the staying power. And then when we talk about entrepreneurship, not everybody is even yet in entrepreneurship. Some people are just self-employed. Right? There's some difference between being self-employed and being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
a self-employed person is somebody who cannot leave a business and it will stand. So maybe I open up a baking shop and I have to be the one to stay there and run it, even if I have employees and folks that are working with me. But for as long as I am unable to leave that business, I am just self-employed. An entrepreneur is somebody who has built a business and can travel for 2 years and he comes back and the business is still working. It's just like a matter of scaffolding. He's an architect. He should understand this more. I just studied English and I stepped into another space, right? When you are building, you have scaffolds by the side of the building. For as long as the building is rising, there's a scaffold. People climb on it to go up and build and do the next thing and paint and all of that. Then it gets to the point where you have to take out the scaffolding. An entrepreneur is a scaffold. For as long as he's there, when the business is building, he keeps everything in check. But there's a time that comes where you have to take off the scaffolding and the business should still stand. The building should still stand. That's who an entrepreneur is. So if you're not ready to do this, I'm not against you, but just get a 9 to 5. I beg. Build yourself and get a 9 to 5.
See, ba. There is life And then there's people that want to joke around.
It's crazy.
I've been around for some time.
Old man, the two seller.
I've seen that sometimes it's annoying because people are not just serious to want to take life serious. People are looking for what to hide under. Example is, my friend is a makeup artist, and it looks like makeup is thriving at the time. Almost every young girl wants to be a makeup artist. Rap music is thriving at the time. Something that has nothing to do with sofa notes.
Sofa notes.
It has nothing to do with anything concerning music. But because homeboys on the street at the particular time is popping because of rap music, he wants to start writing something. Leave it alone.
Okay.
Find your strength in the field of market and stay there. We all cannot do the same thing. We all cannot do the same thing. Just know yourself, know what you want to do in this life, find your purpose and stay. So these major problems for some time, I think it was 2021, I was thinking about it because I had some couple of folks that were reaching out to me. They wanted to do something they were not supposed to do. I just concluded that it's identity crisis. If you know yourself, you stay one place. You stay in your field and focus. Give yourself time, you hit it up. Because try to explain to me why you're trying to go and do business when you know practically where that you are a 9 to 5 person. It doesn't make sense.
Okay. So, everybody should find out
find your purpose. Just identify
we've
yourself.
been hearing that 9 to 5, getting a salary will make you a millionaire.
Good.
Now, we've heard that a whole lot because,
Yeah.
People just come out of school and just want to get a 9 to 5 job.
Yeah.
Every month you're being paid.
Yeah.
Like being a civil servant,
Yeah.
you can't even do any other business apart from that
Yeah.
that job you're doing,
Yeah.
and earning your salary at the end of the month,
Yeah.
which we know what salaries could be
Yeah.
in Nigeria.
Yeah.
And even if you're paid $1 million, like we talked earlier,
Mhm.
we said earlier, you don't have a purchasing power with 1 million because
Good.
just enter the market and you
Good.
come back and everything is empty.
Good.
Now, you're saying if you're a 9 to 5, stick to 9 to 5.
Good.
A 9 to 5 person that wants to be a billionaire, they will here have a side hustle.
No, there's a way to go about that.
Okay.
Yes.
There's a way to go
There's a
about
way
that.
to
Please,
go
could
about
you
it.
help us with
So
the
yesterday I
way
was
to
having
go
a
about it?
conversation with someone that's a 95 person, right? She's making about 122,000 naira per salary. Given the other allowances, everything is roughly around a 150. And then she reached out and like, okay, we all know that you want to be a billionaire. You want to buy a house of 50 million in the future. If you put your 100K, let's minus the other things because okay, there's transportation, there's fuel and all those things to buy. So let's say you have 100K at the end of the month. If you keep that, it will probably take you 60 years to be able to raise good amount of money that you can say you want to buy a property with, right? But then there's something called investments. Just small investments you can do. Just stocks you can buy. Not everybody can do business, but that doesn't mean that not everybody should invest. We're not saying be an active business person, do buy and sell, but then there are people that give you opportunities. There are businesses that give you opportunities to own shares with them. There are businesses that give you the opportunities for you to invest in them, and then they give you some certain returns. So you don't have to be a business person by being actively buying and selling, but then you can put monies together. This is where sacrifice comes in. Do you want to be flexing the 100K, buying all the good things you want?
Flex, 100K flex.
No, I don't know.
100.
I don't know. But then,
to flex,
do you want to do that, or do you want to sacrifice now? Say, okay, I'll take out this so amount of money and put here at this particular time.
Okay, when we talk about 9 to 5, Who says your 9 to 5 must be in Nigeria?
Yeah, there's that.
Who says your 9 to 5 must be in the federal government? Who says your 9 to 5 must be GT Bank? My sincere apologies, I'm not trying, Who says your 9 to 5 must be within the nation? I know someone who has a 9 to 5, regular 9 to 5, a female, a very good friend of mine. She has a 9 to 5 and her salary is less than 200,000. But then she's a virtual assistant for someone in Canada. And her pay for that is 350,000 naira when converted to Nigerian naira. So, and at some point she was trying to put up for another virtual assistant role. So that would have been, give or take, another 350,000 naira. So that's 700,000 naira plus her 150-ish thousand naira. That's already close to 1 million naira, right?
Yeah.
We cannot thrive on one source of income anymore. And whether we like it or not, what keeps us valuable now is those digital skills we can think of. We are youth. We cannot be thinking like our forefathers anymore. It's our forefathers that want to just work in federal government and retire after 35 years. I mean, I want to ball. I don't want to be a mechanic. I want to be a baller. But I can't be a baller by working for one office that they are keeping you from 9. You can do stuff. There's no way you say you are too busy. I know a medical doctor who right now is a designer. A medical doctor. So this thing you are talking about, you people that don't have time, he's a designer. He learned when he was an undergraduate.
That was something I was going to even say.
I know a lawyer who right now what he does is a front-end developer lawyer. I know somebody who's a medical doctor and his side hustle is playing video game online. Now, we play video game and you think there's nothing that can come out of video game. Go on to the online space and see how many people are making or raking in millions of naira by playing the same video game that our fathers told us that if you play this game, you will not be successful.
Yeah.
I know someone who is a multi-millionaire because he played during COVID and won a FIFA tournament online. So tell me how you are telling me that's 9 to 5.
The thing is,
well, if you are ready, you are ready.
Who even said that your side hustle must be? That's what I was telling you when I said, who says your side hustle must be the active buying and selling? Do you understand? Who says your side hustle must be buying and selling?
I do UI UX in the night.
There are a lot of things you could do
Okay.
that is side hustle. Your side hustle is not that you must go and open a shop, close from work by 5 o'clock, go to a shop.
Okay.
That is not what they mean by side hustle.
Okay.
Your side hustle can be trading,
Kind of trading, forex trading, crypto.
forex
Let's be
trading,
sure. First of all, be trading,
crypto.
trading
There are a lot of other their side hustle.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you understand?
Okay.
There is online gigs you can do. This FIFA thing, I know somebody that won $5,000 2 weeks ago
Playing online.
playing game online in his house.
You see how it goes.
Okay.
So your side hustle.
This is a whole new.
The thing is, are you just willing to put in the work, or you just want to come back from work, greet the kids, make dinner, sleep?
Okay. All right. So you talked about investment, investing, like, and I'm reading a book currently, Millionaires Fast Lane by MJ DeMarco, and he talked about the fact that most of our financial enthusiasts and coaches and all of that always talk about investment. He retired at the age of 25 or 26 as a billionaire, and he started his business I think when he was 22 or so just like a period of 4 or 5 years. So he was like, investment would how much would you what is your ROI for an investment, and how long would you invest in order to become a millionaire? That is one. So except you want to be a millionaire at 60, which I don't want to be. I want to be a millionaire when I'm young, so I could spend my money. Because we don't have time. If you are saying you're investing, by the time I've seen people die at 35, I've seen people die at 45, I've seen people die at 55, I've seen people die at 100 and something. But then you don't have the luxury of time, because you don't know when you're going to go. You don't just have anything, so you're just putting in the work as long as you are alive, and trying to make your money. And so sometimes investment, it works for some people, because most times youth, how much do you have to invest? And what are you even investing? You want to go and invest, like it was back in the days when you invest in all these oil companies and all of that, you make returns. You could actually correct me if there's any other means of investment that I'm seeing my returns very early. I don't have to wait till I'm 60. I don't have to wait till I'm 50 in order to enjoy my ROI. That is one. Then it talked about different side hustles. I think there's going to be a session on this on this Saturday, you're going to tell us what other things we could do as side hustles, because I know a lot of people that are listening to us are like, as clueless as I am, and we have people who are experienced in that aspect. So tell us, what other forms of side hustles, apart from selling, going to the market and doing all of that, that is one. Then the next question is going to be, like, the way we are in the economy right now. We talked about the fact that your money can't get you most of the things you need, so we need to live on a budget. So financial literacy, most youth don't have it. Is it when you talked about identity crisis, there's something we call peer pressure. You just want to belong. You want to look like the next person. I'm a youth, he's a youth, he's using iPhone, kiniko, he has a car, he's always clubbing. We don't do that here. But then you club, you just buy drinks, you see that they're doing Dorime for this person, and you want to live at that level with that person, but you're lying to yourself, because you know that you can't afford it. But so most youths don't have financial literacy. They don't even know anything about budgeting tips. They just want to
think that's financial literacy.
You just want to just live your life just like that. So what do you have to say about, I'll start with you.
Okay, so where are we starting from now? The first question.
Financial literacy. Let's go with
okay, let's start from financial literacy. Okay, good. But from the example you gave, I don't think it's financial literacy. You want to ball because of the pictures you're seeing on Instagram, but then that's not financial illiteracy. That's you being stupid. Okay. You're not seeing the pictures. You're trying to follow the picture. You're not following the live field. There's pictures and then there's live field. There's what they want you to see. There's what they are going on.
Okay.
So it's funny how people say, take me a picture unawares, but then they're staying for you to take the picture. That's what they want you to come. Then they'll post it online. Then you are seeing it. Bottles are arranged. That is just the current moment. That guy just got to that club. He and his group of friends. That bottles were bought. That is the current moment. After that, do you know what next? How did they go home? Did they boat? Did they have to find their way home? Did they drive to that place? Did they even have fuel in their car? It's a show for you to see. And identity crisis, again, you don't know yourself. You want to live like them. Forgetting that it's just a picture. It was a moment that was taken. And if you are patient enough, you too can have a moment to take pictures with. You don't have to recreate that. You just have to wait for your moment. Your sister could have a birthday. Your auntie could get married and you are invited. That could be your moment.
You can fake it.
But you then know, of course, you want to just fake like them fake. So the thing is, when I see people want to recreate stuff on Instagram, where they see on Instagram or friends, it doesn't make any sense to me. Come on, boy. What are you trying to do with your life? It's a picture. Like, you own a cell phone, so at least, if nobody should tell you that one, you own a cell phone, so at least you know when a picture is a picture. It's not your everyday life. So that is just you being that. Now, for not knowing how money works, financial literacy, not knowing how money works, that's basically how I call it. There are books you could read. There are courses you could take. And don't read them because you want to read them. Don't take courses because you want to take courses. Don't ask questions because you just want to ask questions so that people think you want to learn. Learn. So you ask questions on how to save up money or how to use money. Put in the job of doing it. Discipline yourself to the fact that you see yourself. Make sure you do it. There was a time where I spent money a lot in my life. In a day, I could spend 100k. Giving this person this 20k. I've gotten this, do this. Before you know, money is gone. I had to sit down and I started reading books, start asking people questions. Okay, how do you take hold money? Because me be like, this money, if you want to enter it, you go. I beg. And they were like, okay, if you hold money, you go separate them. The one here be for savings. The one here be for your everyday life. The ones where be your giving. Do you understand? So there's a percentage that goes to giving, that if once that percentage is done, everybody will have to calm down till the next set of money comes in. So at first, I wasn't really following ideas I was given. Then I had to sit myself down to teach myself how to go through that. It was a pain. It was a discipline. Because there are situations where I have money but then I cannot touch it because I need to teach myself that this is the new life now. And months went by, years went by, and then it's a lifestyle. So you just have to learn it. Nobody was born with it.
You have to knock off that mic on your face because I'm coming next to you.
Nobody was born with it. Nobody was born stingy.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. Maybe some people are born stingy. I don't know. I'm sorry. Let me not go and trash people's heritage. No offense. But then you just need to learn.
Okay.
Put in your mind to learn. Put in your brain to the work. Sit yourself down. Teach yourself what you need to learn.
Okay. My one is very short and brief. Financial literacy is not a skill.
Okay.
Financial literacy is a necessity. And when when people try to run away from things, they use big names. Financial literacy. I think financial literacy is discipline. Because basically what financial literacy does is that it tells you how to put money aside for this and put money aside for that. Budgeting, doing the things that you need to do, necessities. There's a scale. You put things according to scale of preference. How important is it? Is it important and necessary? If it's not necessary, is it? So you have to put things in order of necessity, right?
Yeah.
So, and then there's something that also people fail to understand. When you see people balling, you talked about people balling. I mean, he said that you don't see the back end. But I will even say, even if they are genuinely balling, you cannot ball yet. So stay
Just
where you
wait
are
for your time.
and live according to your means.
Yeah.
So there's something that a friend of mine says that stuck with me. He said it. I heard him say it in 2016, and he has stuck. And I said that willpower is not as strong as environment. So you have the will and say, I am not going to spend my money. I will not spend this 2 million that I put in my savings. But you're always in an environment where they are balling and squandering and doing dorime, and they are bringing caskets with wine in it. I don't know how to do it. My mommy did not allow me to do that, right? But we see it on the internet. They do stuff like that. The environment that you find yourself will determine if you do that or not.
Yeah.
I know the kind of places I should be. I know the kind of amount of money in my pocket, and I know if I want to ball, I know where to go and ball. I ball on budgets. I don't ball like blood money ballers. I ball with my sweat that they make my money, no be blood, right? So it's just about being in the right environment. Have friends who help you. It's not just about standing alone, because like they will say, one man cannot make a forest, or one tree cannot make a forest, or one man cannot make an army. But you need the right circle of people that can help you, right? People that can put you on the right path also.
Yeah.
Because if I know I'm struggling with this, my best friend cannot be someone who is struggling with that. If I'm struggling with my money, managing my money, my best friend cannot be who is struggling with managing money. I look for a friend that will help me manage my money, right? So basically, environment matters. Environment is stronger than willpower.
Environment is stronger than willpower. Okay, so the next area we're going to be needing your insight will be, what skills do you think is more in demand now? Or what skills do you think would be in demand in the future? We could train ourselves now and wait for the market. Or what do you think how do you think we can leverage on tech skills in order to be relevant here now in this economy? How do we help ourselves with tech?
Okay. There's something I would say that I love to say that a lot. The future of work, which is the future, is now. So you talked about how that you can learn in anticipation of a space that will launch in the future. Whereas any space you want to see launching in the future is if you have thought about it, it's launching or it's launched already.
Okay.
We're tailing from behind. We are decades behind these guys that are doing crazy stuff, right?
Yeah.
But now, if you take a look at 2020, what happened during the COVID break was that's when the eyes of people opened to the tech space. That's when medical doctors are at home for years say, oh boy, it's like we now need to look for another thing, because nobody is going to hospital. Okay, medical doctors, they're actually necessary skills, what they call it, carriers that they needed to be in the hospitals. But let me use someone else, someone in the bank. He now knows that this is my banking work. What's going on? I can't even make money. Someone who works in the federal government, they slash down their money, right? So then that's when it dawned on us as a people, as a nation, that we need to learn these skills. Because then all we knew were cyber cafes. That's the idea of tech. Have cyber cafe, have go and type, photocopy.
True.
Right? But post 2020, post COVID, we discovered that the eyes of the people opened. At some point, I was the manager of Akure Tech Hub, and that was when I came into the full understanding of what the tech space was. Right? A big shout out to Piso Deli. She was the one who brought me on board, even though I was not actively in the tech space yet. So she saw potentials in me, and then I learned on the job 2020, 2021, and then a whole lot of things happened. My eyes opened to stuff. I met lots of folks. I met lots of people. I came to understand that the tech space is broader than we think. Now, when people hear tech, what they think about is coding. The tech space is so encompassing that it goes beyond back-end development or front-end development. There's UI UX, that is user interface designs. There's graphic design. There's even non-tech skills, non-coding skills, non-tech skills. You have skills like human resource. HR is still very valuable in the tech space. We have product managers. We have content writers. Even though artificial intelligence is coming and lots of these jobs are still falling into oblivion, but they are still very important skills. And if we want to talk about digital skills, we're going to have a different session for that, because 20 minutes, 30 minutes is not even enough. I can keep talking for a week or two, right? But the skills are more important than we think. They are more relevant than we know, right? So I mentioned a few that have to do with coding skills or non-coding, mobile app development and whatnot. It's not about studying computer science in school. I know someone who studied computer science in school, and I was trying to put a disk into his CD-ROM and say, I beg, don't spoil my laptop. And I'm like, oh, you have graduated from computer science, you don't even know that there's a port where you can put a disk in your PC. And I'm like, so it's not about that our computer science. It's about knowing the valid skill now. Even in the banking sector now, there is innovation going on. I know somebody, I'm not calling a name, in a certain bank. He's the head of innovation in that bank. And what they do basically in that bank is they are supporting lots of tech startups. They are funding tech projects. They are funding agri-tech startups, ed-tech startups, health tech startups. But even in the banking sector, tech has become very important. Every bank, you don't need to go to the bank to create an account again, right? Although the regular banks are still having some form of hold that you have to still come to the bank to sign whatnot. But what happened when something like OPay came? What happened when something like Kuda came? We didn't need to go to the bank again. Now I have a bank account I can send to anybody. I just stayed on my phone. So tech is taking over the entire ecosystems that you think of in Nigeria or in the world, right? So you just have to stay relevant. You can reach out to me and we'll have that conversation. I cannot give you that for free anyways. So we can do that form of consultation, and you will know how to come into the tech space, how to transcend from an agricultural farmer that you are into an agri-tech guy. Move from a medical doctor into a health tech guy. Move from a financial guy to a fintech guy. So what happens is that there's a way to put tech to every sector you can think of. And it's just to know the right way and plug yourself in.
How do you apply tech to being a lawyer?
Being a lawyer? You see people that are doing tech law.
They're doing something called tech law.
I mean, there's tech law.
What does that entail?
I mean, it's tech law. Okay, now let me not even go too far.
Okay.
There are platforms where you can get access to lawyers, so you don't need to go to any law firm. All you need to do is just pay some little token. I'll not do advert for anybody. But there are platforms where you can just get, all you know is that you are getting, there are platforms where you can get laborers. You don't need to know them. You don't need to start going to Panteka to go and get a carpenter to come and nail your wall. All you need to do is go on the platform. And so it's integration of tech tech is being integrated into every sector you can think of. Any sector you call, even in the church. How are we doing virtual church now? Right? Tech is, every church now is having a website. And there are lots of things you can do. There's a church I went for my friend's child dedication, and then she said that she didn't even need to go and fill any form. All she did was go to the website and feel that she's having a child dedication and put the child's name and put the child's picture, put her picture and all of that. And that day they came and they called her. It's not that they say, oh, we forgot. They just go through the back end and then they get. So, I mean, tech is integrated into every sector right now.
Okay. Now, we are almost full circle on our topic, and now we want to talk about tips on mental health in our economy right now. A lot of people who are still behind, and who hasn't gotten to the extent where you guys have gotten to, they are finding it very difficult. You know, in fact, this is a period where you start hearing. I don't pray for it, but people after looking at how much debt they are in, how much bills they have to pay just to survive. You know, if you're sick these days, I just pray people don't get sick, because if you're sick, medical attention is quite expensive now. So people are going through a whole lot of mental health breakdown. Someone wants to commit suicide. Someone just locks himself in for days without wanting to see anybody, because they're just ruminating and thinking, how do I, ace this part of life. So what do you have to say about when people, mental health, how do you survive? How do you, I'm talking to you, Mr. Winner, because Mr. Benson is really a very, very, very straightforward, harsh, in your face kind of person. So let's start with you. Just try to, help them, romance them before they get
Wow.
She doesn't know.
by the true stalker.
She doesn't know.
Sorry.
Oh, well, I'm actually the harsh one.
Oh, really?
I was even.
Let's see.
I won't say what I said outside. Let's leave it.
Okay.
So basically, right, the only thing in my heart right now to say about this whole mental thing, right, is to let God love you. Let people love you. So the thing is, the country is hard. There's a whole lot going on, right? There's chaos everywhere. You're trying this, it's not working. You're looking for food, there's no food. There's no this, there's no that. All that, your mind is troubled. You just want to just lock yourself up. I know. Calm down. Find Jesus. Find the right set of people. Human beings. Not rascals.
Okay.
Find good people that love you, that will be there to hold you up. That's all. The basic thing is, honest thing is, we just feel like people will not listen. That's a lie from the pit of hell. There are people that will listen. If you don't want to call me or listen, there are people that will listen. You are just trying to be all up in your head, thinking that there's nobody that want to listen about your trouble because everybody's going through the same thing.
Yes.
It's a lie. There are people that would genuinely want to listen to you, to hold you up, to be accountable for you, to make sure you are fine.
Okay.
Find those people.
All right.
Right? Find those people.
Okay.
And stay with them.
Okay.
Be honest with them. Tell them how you feel. Open up. If you can do the stuff, those things white people do, what they call it, therapy. You can do white people
White
thing.
Or
Do white people thing. Do therapy.
Yoga?
round table.
Do them yoga. Do all those things white people them do. If you can't, fine. If you cannot, find your own kind of person.
Okay.
All right.
First of all, I'll start by saying that many of our youth shout about mental health, but they really don't even understand what mental health is.
You don't.
Yeah, it's affecting my mental health. It's not affecting your mental health. Calm down. Take a deep breath. That thing you are worrying about, just take a deep breath. There are some things that taking a deep breath will do for you. Just take a deep breath, hold
And
it
drink
for like,
water.
hold it for like 2 seconds, and then let it out. And drink lots of water. Some of those kind of stress will go away. I'm not a medical doctor, but these are things I do, and they help me ease stress, right? But for people who have genuine mental health issues in our country, Nigeria, you will know when you see them in traffic. You know when they drive. You know when they are walking. You can just walk into a bank and then there's a teller girl that just talks to you anyhow. You may think this person is rude, but you don't know what that person has gone through. There's so much pressure. But one thing I still know in all of this is that what has happened with all these people that express all of this is that they have kept it bottled in for too long, right? They have kept all this pressure in for too long. They have held it in. They're just swallowing, and then God helps you that you are the one that they burst out on, right? And what happens when we bottle up emotions is that the more bottled up it is, the more pressure it is to let go. I remember the movie Odyssey, where they were voyagers. Wow, they were on a voyage, and then there was a point where they got some air stuck in a pot. And it was one of their gods that stuck the air in the pot, and then he tightened it, right? And then one of them wanted to know what was in there, and and he went and he popped it open. There was so much pressure that oozed out of it that pushed him up into the air and tossed him into the water, and then he was eaten by a shark or something. But that's what happens when we bottle up emotions. We're putting it in. It's just like the regular kunu that many people drink. If you keep kunu bottled up for long and it begins to ferment, you see that the bottle begins to expand. I used to like fermented kunu a lot, right? And then I'll keep it in my wardrobe. And then I came home one day and then the kunu had burst and all my clothes were inside kunu, right? I love kunu a lot, right? But that's what happens to many people. They bottle it up until it has nowhere else to go but to burst. You know how they say when you are pushed to the wall? Yeah, something happens when you are pushed to the wall. Even a goat will bite when he's pushed to the wall, right? So it's just about letting it out. Have accountability partners. I have somebody, I don't know if to call her name, Doinsola. I don't want to call her name, but her name is Doinsola. She's the kind of person that when she's going through stuff, she calls me and she airs it out. When I'm going through stuff, I call her and I air it out also. Right? She may think that I'm helping her, she doesn't know I'm helping myself. She may think I'm advising her, she doesn't know that the advice I'm giving her, it thinks I'm going through. So I'm just saying it to her and she feels, oh, thank you so much. Doesn't know that I just poured out some pressure that was tied in my bosom under my trachea. Whatever, right? So it's just I think we should learn to speak out. We should learn to let things pop. We should learn to let things out. We should not hold on to stuff. And we'll see that the mental health we're talking about, if it goes too far, then get one therapist. I can recommend different therapists, right? I can even do some therapy for you, but it's not be professional.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, so we want to talk about, the last thing we want to talk about is leveraging on community, networking, social media. You know, everything is on social media right now. Everything's on the internet. You know, so how do we use that to our advantage as youths in this current economy? How do you just come out of just being a local champion and just being
making
international
dolls
space
on
and all of
Instagram
that?
posts.
Yeah, and how do you network with people who are in the same space with you? We're talking about tech. I want to go into tech. How do I, meet people, meet them, and hold on to them? Have this community where I could, if there's anything I'm going through, any difficulty, I could be, see. And then if they're also going through anything, you could just put in questions. Everybody learns from it.
Okay.
That has to. So how do we leverage on that? Networking, community, social media?
These may be two sides of same coin, right? Each and every one of us is on social media. Right before I walked into the studio, I was seeing a video where Mackenzie Comedy was trying to do some form of free course on how to step into the YouTube space, how to grow your YouTube subscribers, and how to begin to earn from YouTube. Because he mentioned I had multiple channels where he earns from as Mackenzie. Not all are comedy, and he's trying to grow people. He's trying to build people. The problem why people do not have access to this is information, because the most of what they want to do is to do TikTok challenge only, right? They just want to watch. Most of us are consumers. There's something my mentor told me a long time ago. I used to struggle with social media. He says, if you are not giving people things to consume, then don't spend more than 30 minutes at a go on social media. Because I'm just consuming lots of content. And then you see that they are on the social media, there are more crazy content than the good ones. If you see social media, for instance, it shows you that marriages are not working. There are more divorce cases on social media than good marriages that are working. I mean, my parents' marriage worked. But then you see somebody will decide to go and look at social media and say, men has come. Whereas your father and your mother are still doing 45 years of marriage, whatever. But you are following social media and say, men has come. Right information will put us in the right place. Communities exist everywhere. Talking about the tech space, when I was in Akure Tech Hub, we had some communities. We had the techies community, we had the designs community, we had the creatives community, because within that area, we're around the Federal University of Technology, Akure space, so we had a lot of communities where people could come and learn, people could come to express. There are some people that just want to mentor. I mean, I love to mentor. I love to hold people and say, you know what, let me show you how to walk through this path. There's something the Bible says. I'm a very devout Christian, and there's something the Bible says, and it says that the journey of fools wearieth them all, because they know not how to enter into a city. So the problem is not about knowing the thing. It's not about coming in. It's about knowing how to come in. There's a certain way. I know that if I want to travel to whatever country, there's a certain visa I need to have. So just imagine I wake up and I go to the airport. I'm like, hey, I'm traveling. I want to go to Doha. There are some things you need to do. That's okay. Can I have your international passport? I don't have. Where's your visa? I don't have. Where's your? Oh yeah, give me your phone number. I don't have. So there are certain things you need to have in place, right? Having the right circle. Communities exist everywhere. If you are on, for instance, Eventbrite, you discover that in a place like in Abuja, in Lagos, there are different tech community meetups happening almost every weekend. So it's about having the right information, knowing the right thing, being in the right place at the right time, and that's still social media. So it's not about just consuming chocolate caramel. No, it's not just that. Oh no, that thing has stuck in my head. It lives rent free for the last 1 week or so, right? But it's not about just being up to date with what trend is there, but knowing how to leverage. And how to leverage is the communication for another day, right? Because there are people you can learn from. Every content creator right now, I know, the ones I follow anyways, they are doing give back to society, trying to help you grow YouTube channels, trying to help you grow your social media following so that you can begin to earn, because they know the troubles that we are inside. So they are trying to build a community so that they can help you leverage that community and learn stuff. But the question is now, are we ready to leverage these opportunities that are available? Because a mirage of opportunity exists. Mirage or mirage now? They exist around us. There are plenty of opportunities. An ocean of opportunities right in front of us. There's a quote that my daddy used to like. My daddy, God bless his soul, says, "Why wash your hands with saliva or with spittle when you are standing right at the bank of a flowing river?" So it's not enough to don't have sense. You have to learn to have sense and plunge into the water. Don't be like that man that say nobody's there to toss me into the water when the water was dead. You do.
Mr. Wina?
Yeah. Okay, so for you to leverage, right, it takes two things, right? Switch your lens, switch your interest, all right? You want to leverage on social media to make money, switch your interest. Switch your interest from the wanna be watching content and laughing to wanna be watching content that you're learning from. Because they're there. Just that your interest would pop up more.
The algorithm will work in line with your interest.
So if you switch your interest, you will see what you're looking for. But if you just say, okay, today I know somebody that told me that I was watching something on Twitter. This was 2016. I was watching something on Twitter, and then the guy was like, "How come your Twitter they only show you this kind of amount? Nah, nonsense. Then they only show me." I was like, now interest. You get everything you click. You get it I click. So switch your interest from whatever you are consuming now to what you want to become. Do you understand? Put before you what you want to become every day. Don't try to want to make yourself. Find somebody that will make you. Find somebody to submit yourself under that will teach you these things. The truth is, for a truth, all these things are online. You can learn them by yourself, right? But then, one of the fastest way is to find somebody who had gone through this process. He will now tell you. So you can want to watch a course you can want to do a course for 5 models for 5 weeks, and somebody that had gone through that process can tell you that this model and this one 2, 3, 4 is not necessary. Just do 1 and 5.
Yeah.
Find somebody that can hold you, put you through the process, and in no time you're where you need to be.
Well, it's been a really interesting, eye-opening and thought-provoking session with Mr. Wina and Mr. Benson. You, as a youth out there listening to us, hearing everything that has been said today on this show, on the set, I don't think you should sleep on this. There are a lot of ideas that have been thrown out, a lot of things that has been brought up for us to explore, and so just like you talked about social media, we have to switch up. You know, whatever we see, whatever we keep looking at, we become eventually. Even the Bible says, so 2 Corinthians chapter 3 verse 18, he said, we all with unveiled faces are looking as in a mirror at the glory of the Lord and are being transformed into the same image from glory to glory.
Yeah.
So as you're looking at whatever it is that's not going to help you grow your life is not growing. In fact, you're debased, you're going down every day because everything way through your head now nonsense. So you can improve. And so they've helped you. If you're going through a lot right now, most people are going through a lot, you know, find a community, find someone, accountability partners, find someone you could just pour out. And not just someone when you pour out, the person will now use your story and go and do caricature. No, someone who, you know, when you talk to the person, he could help you, you know, talk to you, help you to come back to a stable state. So, we've come to the end of today's session. Thank you so much, Mr. Benson. Thank you so much, Mr. Winner, for enlightening us. Thank you for, you know, pushing us with some really harsh words, not really harsh, but words that would, you know, ginger you to do something about your situation. Nigeria is going to get better. We pray for that. But before then, let's help ourselves get better.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Okay.